Something in terms of overcoming adversity, overcoming stuff that's tough in life, okay? So, that could be like poverty, that could be inequality, okay? That could be problems in the world that we have, okay? Um, and so, like I said, Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr. are going to be the very, very common ones, okay? Who else could you talk about? You could talk about the presidents. You could talk about past presidents. So Abraham Lincoln might be a good one to reference to. If you know more about history or know what you really want to do is be able to show that you've picked up a book somewhere or that you've picked up some sort of academic related material and or that you just read. So it's stuff like if you read Life magazine and Time magazine and stuff like that, you'll most likely be able to speak a little bit better and be able to argue a little bit better when it comes to these things, okay? The next one is what? Creativity, innovation, and technology. So they're going to ask about that, right? Is creativity necessary in this world, right? Is innovation and technology, is it good? Is it bad? Artificial intelligence, that's going to be a very common and more likely popular topic that will come up. Should we have it? Should we not have it? So come up with what you have to say. Now, in that situation, you're going to be able to talk about technology giants, Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, Fitbit, whatever you want. But choose what it is, whatever that you have the most material to be able to argue that perspective of, okay? So, it doesn't even have to be. If you hate Apple, but Apple is one of the things that you're able to talk about here and able to make a good argument with, then use it, because all it is they're evaluating on your content, on your argument, on your ideas and your development, that organization, okay? So, go ahead, do that one real quick.
Right.
Oh my God. In the past, it was a very distinct yes or no question. Take this side or take that side. And I don't know, when I was going through these tests, I would remember, I'd just start writing, and then I would go back and reread the question, and my mind would flip-flop. I'd start thinking the other side. And so I'd continue writing, and all of a sudden I'd say yes at the beginning, and halfway through my essay, I started to argue for no.
Yeah.
And so one thing you could do is, on that outline sheet, the question page, do your best to put as many notes, highlight things, words you want, put synonyms down right away, so you don't have to, your brain just doesn't have to work nearly as hard to get the content out. Does that make sense? Another thing is they don't really ask you like a yes or no question, but write your perspective down underneath. Because what if you do what I just did and say, reread the question, your mind just suddenly just flowed on to the next step and started to think the opposite. So use the extra 5-10 minutes at the beginning to put out an outline, put out things that you want to say, because if you don't, you only leave yourself more room for error, right? And in a 40-50 minute timed writing essay, you don't have room to go back, cross out, erase. And here's another thing, don't use your eraser, just cross stuff out and move forward, okay? That actually shows progression and shows thought process, versus when it's just so perfectly written down. You're so focused on making this look perfect right now, but if your content isn't necessarily that great, it's not adding to anything. I'd rather you have a essay that like barely legible, but legible, right? I'm not like squinting to read, but like I'm reading it. It's like not the prettiest handwriting. It's fine. Something scratched out, vocab words switched out for better ones. That actually gives me more confidence in you as a writer than the one that just spits something out. And it maybe sometimes even sounds more just like talk, right? Because when you're just writing it in that flow. Does that make sense?